Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Learn with Jason. Today on the show, we're doing a do-over. We've got Mikhail Novikov on the show. How you doing, man?
Hello, everyone. Doing great. Yeah, it's nice on summer in Finland now, so it's not hot anymore. So I'm enjoying it.
Nice.
It's
Yes.
cold and gloomy again. How
So
about you?
I'm doing well. It rained super hard last night, and one of our window wells filled up with water and started pouring water into the basement. But the benefit of
Gosh.
having an unfinished basement is that that doesn't matter because the water just pours into the drain on the concrete floor. So we were happy that we haven't
Oofed.
gotten around to doing
All
any work
right.
there.
So that's exciting.
Sorry, I should have
Whoa.
prepped you. The sound effects are going to play this time. The look on your face, you were like, "What just happened?"
Oh, man. Oh.
Oh my god, that was great.
Okay, that was funny.
Uh, excellent, excellent, excellent things. So
Then
hi
we can
everyone.
do them a bit more.
Amberly, super happy to see you on the stream. Bipasam, always good to see you back. Tony, this is not a cooking stream today. However, there's been a surprising amount of support for that, so I am 100% going to try to figure out how to set up a camera in my kitchen. Today, we're going to talk about advanced GraphQL techniques, and there's no one better to talk about that than Mikhail Novikov. So in addition to the work that you've done on Gatsby, you've been in the GraphQL community for, it feels like, since the beginning, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we started doing GraphQL stuff before Facebook actually published the official implementation. We were probably the first GraphQL startup.
Very cool. So, do you want to give us a little bit of a kind of your background and story, kind of how you got to where you are today as the GraphQL sommelier at Gatsby?
That was really just a joke on Twitter, but now everyone says I'm GraphQL sommelier. Yeah, I don't know. I have a background in web development and consulting. I've started with Python, then worked in several startups with Python and then JavaScript. It was when the JavaScript, this kind of concept of JavaScript application first started. So I did some stuff with Backbone and CoffeeScript and other things that you shouldn't try to look up. And yeah, then React came around, and my friend and my kind of consulting company co-founder Ville, he said, "Okay, check out React. React is so cool," and I liked React, and well, we started doing consulting in React. Then 1 year into consulting, Facebook started like announcing GraphQL on the talks, and we were like, "Yeah, this looks like something that's 100% what should solve all our problems." Then we decided that we should be the first startup to do GraphQL and the tree index, which is like was GraphQL platform as a service. It failed because GraphQL was in infancy, but then we were already like neck deep in GraphQL community, so we decided to continue working on this. And yeah, so then I did several projects in GraphQL community. Like I was working GraphQL tools and on schema stitching. I organized GraphQL Finland conference. Yeah, and then now you're in Gatsby.
Yeah, very cool. So, this is, I think, something interesting. The Ecomath, not all the MVPs or mods, just a couple of the regulars who I felt like it would be helpful when we have things like needing to set up the stream information or potentially adding like little helpful shortcut commands so that people know what's going on. But so today, what I thought would be really fun is to dig into some of this advanced stuff in Gatsby. So you've been working on some things that I have, since the beginning, been really excited about. One of the things that's always been somewhat challenging in Gatsby is when you use a source plugin, when the code runs, depending on whether or not you've got all the front matter defined in your MDX or Markdown files, or whether you've got every field filled out in your contentful model, we do something called inference, right, in the schema. So it just looks at the objects that come in and creates fields in GraphQL based on that. And this is super powerful. Like it takes a lot of the overhead out of things. But the problem is that when you create like a theme Or if I wanted to make a starter that didn't have default content, then it would immediately error because content would be missing. So it would be querying a field that never got inferred and doesn't exist. So you've solved that problem. Do you want to talk a little bit about how that works?
Yeah, so as you said, Gatsby types were always and Gatsby schemas are always driven by inference, and it works really well for many cases. But then there are lots of cases like you described when the data changes, and also cases where introspection is already available, where it's helpful to have schema defined. So we have this thing called schema customization now, which basically allows you to define the types or parts of the types. And the coolest part is that it's sort of like a gradual opt-in. You can define one field, you can define the whole type, or you can define your whole schema, and it all works. And you can gradually adopt it in this way. And I think now we support all the Gatsby features through schema customization with all the latest additions, but the documentation is definitely not up to date.
Cool.
But
So that actually is even more exciting because that means that we're going to learn about stuff that I haven't seen yet because it's not in the docs. So let's maybe just start building a project and we can step through some things. So should I build would a blog be a good example or should I do something different?
yeah, let's try the block. We can continue and quickly go through what we covered last time and then hopefully get into more advanced stuff.
Okay, so I'm going to start with just a empty starter. So we'll
Yeah.
do Gatsby Advanced GraphQL, and we'll use the starter hello world, if I can spell it. Jeez. Nice. Oh, so we would need to add code. Is that right? We're not there yet. We're not there yet. Okay. So we are now ready to go in here. So we'll go to Gatsby Advanced GraphQL and let's open that up. Okay. So we've got ourselves an empty folder. The only thing we really got is this this Hello World React component. The Gatsby config is empty. We don't even have a Gatsby node or a Gatsby SSR or any of the other pieces. And the only dependencies are Gatsby React and React DOM. So this is a pretty good starting point for figuring out what we want to do. Now, if I want to create a blog, should we do this with MDX, Markdown? What do you think?
Yeah, let's add Markdown. Let's add source file system and transformer remark, and that will be our first kind of step.
Okay,
We can also maybe
Gatsby.
add at the same time like transform JSON, transform YAML, because sometimes JSON and YAML are better to illustrate those things.
Okay, so we'll just get those in the system. I think this is going to be too fast. Way too fast. All right, so now in the Gatsby config, I can set up, we'll do resolve Gatsby source file system. And for the options, we'll point it to, we'll just point it to content. And then do I need to name this? Should I?
No, it's fine, I think.
Okay, so
Wouldn't it give the name automatically? So
okay, and then, oh, I need to actually make this an array. Plugins, and we'll make this into an array. And then we're going to add in the Gatsby transformer remark. And then we'll just add JSON and YAML as well. And so what each of these does, just for clarity, is they're going to watch for any files in our file system. And then if it's a markdown file, it'll convert that markdown into a node that we can query against. If it's a JSON file, it'll do the same. It'll turn it into a node we can use. And if it's YAML, it'll look for that. So now we can create a content folder. And inside of this, should I add, I guess we'll just add like a couple blog posts.
yeah, and then let's have like remark, like sort of front matter parts that are going to be incompatible,
Okay.
just for the fun.
So I will set up like a hello world. This will be our first blog post. And inside of it, we'll set up like a title. And then for our second one, I can copy this. We'll do another one, .md, drop this in. And
let's have a date here, but not to the first one.
okay. Save that. And then I think we can just run this. So let's yarn develop. Oh, I did. Did I add the date? I didn't.
No.
So I'll stop that and start again. Let's see. Ecomath, what do you mean? What app am I adding myself to?
Well, I mean, you are in transformer JSON.
Oh, I get it. Ha 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 ha. It's a funny joke.
We really should add transformer JSON, like literally JA.
Oh, wait. This is go. I want this one. Okay, so we'll go to localhost 8000. I actually want the graphical explorer, though. So here now we've got all markdown remark, and I can get the nodes, front matter, date and title, and let's get the raw body. Get rid of this events thing. Okay, so
Yeah, let's now remove the date, restart it, and see how this query fails.
remove the date.
From here.
Okay, so I will stop, restart, and I think it's just going to explode, right?
No, I don't think we have dates anywhere in the code, only in Explorer.
That's right. That's right. Only in the Explorer. So when we hit this, now we get this error, and this may look familiar to those of you who have done Gatsby work before. So this just means that we expect that posts should support dates, but that none of the content in the nodes currently has that date declared. So if I want to fix that, how do I do that?
Yeah, so now we can use schema customization. So we need the Gatsby node.
Okay, so I'm going to get out here and we'll create a Gatsby node.js.
And then create schema customization is the correct API for this.
Create schema customization. And that one is going to get actions and anything else that we need?
I guess schema for future use.
Schema.
For like the builders. Yeah, but we don't need it right now.
Okay, so if we don't need it right now, we'll grab it when we need it to keep things as simple as possible. And then I would do actions. Is it create types? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And then in here, we're just going to start declaring the things that we want. And so, for example, with this one, we know that this markdown remark is of a type. Wait, where did you go? No.
Yeah, need to do markdown.
Markdown remark.
Yeah,
so I'm going to do type markdown remark. And then do I want, like, there's some directives here that are kind of specific. So do you want to talk through which, should we use
first we need implements node first.
Implements node. And why do we have to do that?
And then we need, because all types in Gatsby that can be queried directly are nodes. And we want to make sure that people don't accidentally override the type that's node. So if you don't have it, it will do an error. We need a directive that's like at infer, which means that we still want the inference to be on for this.
Okay.
And the only field we want to change is front matter. So we'll have a front matter, and here it would be, I think, markdown remark front matter.
Markdown remark front matter.
Yeah, now we need to add this type
And
also.
the way that we figure that out is we just go over here and
Yeah,
click on
though
it,
practically
and then
when it's like nested types, you can freely rename them and it will still work.
and
So it can be anything else, but it's just probably easier to keep it.
yeah, and so now that we've done this, we are going to kind of re-implement this. Now, does this one need to
Yeah.
implement Node? It doesn't, right?
No, because it's like inline basically object inside the markdown. It's not a separate node.
Yeah. So there's a question in the chat, a couple actually. The first one is infer the default?
Currently, yes, the it inferred. Well, okay, it's like a complex question. Uh, for historical reasons, when we first implemented schema customization, the like no directive was the same behavior as infer. Now it's a bit different. Like default behavior is legacy behavior from the schema customization one, and add infer behavior is the behavior that will be default in version 3 of Gatsby.
Mm,
So the differences are small. Basically, without add infer, we will add the resolvers for Gatsby types automatically, and with add infer, you will have to add directives to do it. And we decided that being explicit is better than being magical.
gotcha. Okay.
So we will see it down here. So if you add infer to type markdown remark front matter,
Okay.
then we wanted to add the date. So add date here.
And that's a date,
Yeah,
right? And then
yeah.
we need a directive.
Let's not do it so we can illustrate
Sure.
what's the difference, and it shouldn't be a not null.
Okay. It
Yeah. So
can be
no,
nullable.
I think it's date time actually. The name. I'm not sure. Maybe it's date.
Yeah, now I'm date.
Date. Okay.
Okay, so we have a date, and this is optional, right? So if I put this, that means it'll fail if it's null. Leaving it off means that it's optional, and so we want that. Now, I should make this required, though, right? We always want the front matter to exist.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then the other question here is that don't we already have a markdown remark type? Well, the answer is yes, but the markdown remark type is inferring all of its fields through like the Gatsby defaults. So what we're doing here is we're explicitly saying this type needs to exist and this field needs to exist. And the reason that's important is what we'll show you right now. Let's run this. So I'm gonna stop and restart so that it picks up the schema customization changes that we made. And now, once this finishes running, I can go back out. And remember, we still don't have, like if I look at my content, we have a hello world with a title, another one with a title. So there is no date field. So when I go to here, let me close this so we can actually see what's going on. I'm querying for the date. So this should fail. So when I refresh the page, it returns null. So what we've done is we've basically allowed for a field to exist even if none of the data uses that field right now.
So notice that date no longer has arguments. We made it so we can illustrate the difference between infer and not infer. Date in Gatsby date by default has some resolver that allows you to format it. And now when you're doing schema customization, you need to specify that you want this resolver to be enabled.
Did that? Yeah, so that picks up right away. So here it's just giving us this setup, but like we don't have any way to change that. So if I go in here, right?
Yeah, and do date format.
Date for, is it camel cased? Or
No.
it's like this? Okay.
Yeah.
So stop and restart. So we pick up that schema customization. And once this gets started for us, now when I refresh the page, we can see that there are options. So I'm going to set like from now to true. Holy buckets, did that just work? And now it'll say like this thing happened 17 hours ago. Or like if I wanted to do A format string, what would it be like? Right?
Yeah, Talvis, this is definitely the plan. Like in future, if you're using a CMS that already has introspection, it should automatically define. Like we have, I think, I'm not sure if we have a PR or is it done, but for Contentful, Mikhail already implemented that it's kind of automatically picks out the configuration. And in future, we definitely want all the CMS to automatically support it.
Yeah. I mean, this is like, it's super powerful how all this stuff works. And we've basically like, so here we can just say, I want the date to be in this format, right? And so we just type that in. And now we don't have to like import moment or import date FNS
Yeah.
or something like that. We can do it right in the GraphQL layer, which keeps us from shipping more code to the browser.
And the difference between this behavior, like if we now remove the it infer and the it format directive, the default behavior that's currently deprecated would be to add those results automatically. So could you do it quickly so we can kind of illustrate this?
So if I go,
Let's go. Yeah, remove it infer and remove date format.
okay, so I will
So yeah,
stop and restart.
notice the error or like a warning that will happen here in console. Yeah, it was higher up. No, it's not this. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
Did it not warn? Do I need to clear the
Well,
cache?
no, I don't think so. Let's try. Let's see if it added everything. What? Why did it not work?
Oh,
Oh,
interesting.
what? Oh, okay, okay. I know what. This is the bug. This is a bug. We need to
Do I have
remove
the latest
infer
version?
from the. No, no, this is bug that we haven't fixed. You need to remove the infer from here, yeah, because it inherits the parent's infer.
I got you.
I'm not sure if that's a bug or if it should be like that, but now it will signal the error.
Okay. So what's happening here is we are running through.
Let's see if it's there. No, what? Let's see what happens in there.
Okay, I feel like I need to clear the. Let me clear the cache. So I'm gonna clean, and we're gonna try this again, and let's see if it picks it up properly.
Mm.
What are you doing, computer? Why? Why are you like this? It's accurate. Okay. So
Well,
yeah, it looks like it.
I guess it doesn't work. So let's just get it.
That's so.
But
And this is a great example of why being explicit is better because now we
yeah,
don't have to worry about the magic. We're telling it what to do. So from here, then I feel like we have a couple cool things that we can do. Did you have a specific path that you want to go, or do you want me to start asking you questions?
uh, I think we wanted to try this interfaces and then dual sourcing and then this kind of stuff. So
Yep,
let's try to
that's
do that.
exactly where I want to go. So what I want to do next is I want to be able to write a query where instead of doing all markdown remark, let me close this up and make this a little wider. So I want my blog post to be queried like so. I want to write all blog post and I want to query the title, the date with the date format option. Right? And then I want to be able to query the body. So that's how I want to load my posts. How can we make that work?
Yeah, so let's define the blog post interface first.
Okay. So I'm going to, am I doing this in here or should I use the schema?
Yeah, and this is fine for now. Yeah, so
Okay. So I will,
we'll have to rewrite it to be the type builders later, but it's fine. You can do implements of interfaces. That's why we have this directive that's called node interface.
node
That
in,
one isn't coming.
wait,
Yeah,
not interface.
this one is camel case. Confusingly enough,
Got it.
date
Okay.
format is not what this one is.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. So node interface. And so we're saying that interface blog post is a node interface. And in it, I want to have a title, which will be a string. I want to have a
Yeah,
date, which will be a date. And that's optional, but it'll be date format. and I want to have a
This probably the date format probably won't work, but let's see. I'm just curious because there's no actual resolvers and interfaces in GraphQL JS, but maybe our system does it. So let's see. Let's see. I'm
okay.
curious actually.
Yeah. So then I just have to tell this to implement that interface. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Though
all
because the remark isn't really compatible with this one, I think we would have to do it a bit differently. We need to make like blog post markdown that will implement this, and then
blog post markdown
yeah, it implements
and
node and blog post.
implements node and blog post.
Yeah, and we need to add a directive here. So add a directive child of, and then type inside it like argument, and it will be a markdown remark.
Interesting. This is new. I haven't seen
And
this.
that's a new thing. Yeah, that's for the child connections
Okay.
for item and schema. And now we can have title, date, and body.
Okay. So I'm just going to pull these straight across.
Yep.
And whenever we implement an interface, typically you're going to use all the same fields. Oh, I need an ID, don't I?
You don't have to have it. It automatically adds it, I think.
Nice.
So
Okay, cool. So let's. Is this
we'll
just
just
gonna?
try doing it. Yeah, I think it won't query anything, but it won't break, I think.
Okay. All right. So it didn't like
Okay, you
that.
need to have an ID. Okay.
It does need an ID.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why, but yeah, I guess this is easier. Maybe there was some reason. I think I told you last time that there was a reason why we had it, but now I don't remember it anymore.
It's the story of my life. I had a really good reason for this when I did it. So now we should have
Yeah.
all blog post, and I can we can
Yeah, you just need to wrap it in Node.
right. So title, date, body, format string, right? And then I can get rid of these. And now when I query, it comes back null. So we're not feeding in any data, but this works. Like this is the interface that I want. Is I want to be able to just say I have blog posts and blog posts have this, and I don't need to I don't need to care at all that it's coming out of Markdown.
Yeah.
So
Holy buckets, did that just work?
it did. It did just work. So next we need to make this actually resolve. And
Yeah, so we need to create a blog post markdown child for every markdown remark node that we create.
I'm going to do that
So it will
through
be,
on create node.
yep.
Okay. And in here we get the node, we get actions, and I think that's everything. Is that right?
Yep.
Or we're gonna need stuff. We're gonna need create node ID and create content digest because we're gonna create nodes. So I want to first make sure that the node type, and where I'm getting this from is every node, like a markdown remark node, is going to have an internal section. And if I look inside internal, we can get its type. And the type is what we want to check for. So we're checking if its type is markdown remark. And actually, we're going to check if it's not because I don't want everything to be nested. So if it's not markdown remark, we'll just immediately bail. If it is markdown remark, now we can make our custom thing. And so I'm going to set up, let's see, MD blog node. And inside of it, we want the title, the date, and the body. And we need to figure out how to get those. So from the markdown node, that's just node.frontmatter.
So yeah, I'll start with that, but we'll actually not have any data inside the nodes after it, but we'll do some magic to do it.
Oh,
But
Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, so let's do it the hard way, and then we'll do it the smart way. And here, how do we get the body out? Would it just be raw markdown body or
I think so. I'm not sure. Probably, yeah. Well,
HTML?
probably HTML, but HTML is probably has a resolver, so it's not actually inside it. So this won't work. So let's start with raw markdown body, and then
Okay.
we'll get to kind of. So this is actually like kind of the tough one, because I mean, we one can just do it like that, but then this won't work for fields that have resolvers, because those fields haven't been actually resolved yet. They only resolve after the schema is created. There are no resolvers in them when we're doing on create node. So that's why it won't work immediately, but it will work somehow.
Okay, so I'm going to add node ID to give us a create node ID. And then I need to, oh wait, in here, then I'm going to do actions.create node. And in it, we're going to spread this MD blog node. And then we're going to set up our internal. And the type is going to be blog post markdown. And we need to set a content digest. So these are the required fields. And the reason I'm doing this in two pieces is because we want to get the digest of the content of this node. And so this is just a helper that gets a hash of this content, and that tells Gatsby whether or not the content has changed. And that's all for caching purposes, right?
We can probably use content digest of the original blog node instead.
Oh,
We just
yeah?
can use.
Okay, yeah, that works for me.
Like,
Node
I mean,
internal.
this will
Content
only be
digest.
changed when that thing changes. So
That is a fair point. Okay, cool. So then we have that. And I believe.
we also need to parent. We need to do parent and to connect the parent here.
Yes.
So parent needs to be the.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. So
Now we don't have to do it actually in two pieces, I think. Now we can do it in one piece. So you don't need to do the
Oh, yeah.
top part.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's smart. So we can make this nice and easy. And we're just basically doing an intermediate node that knows how to get markdown data and put it into the shape that we want so that we can then query against that. And that's so this would be like an adapter, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Stop and restart this one more time because I made some changes. And then jump over here, refresh the page, and I should now.
Holy buckets, did that just work?
There we go. So now I can query our default, our generic blog post type. And that is very exciting. So you said there's an easier way to do that.
You see, like the body here is now is like raw markdown body, so we can't actually use it inside the code, inside the pages, because it's not
Right.
HTML. And if you try to do it with HTML, you'll see that it will be undefined because it's not actual field inside the markdown, but the processing happens only after you actually like call this resolver. So we need to do something smart.
Yeah,
So-
and so Tony has a question about is there more than one way to do this? And I think the answer is absolutely yes. Like you can at this point we're just playing with the underlying schema and data, so you could do this a whole bunch of different ways. But the way that we're about to switch it over should simplify what we're doing now. And
yeah, so let's try doing this. And we discussed that some of the features that are going to be really cool for this are going to ship, and some of them shipped, but they're not as ready for consumption. So we'll still have to do some hacks.
Okay.
But they're going to be less hacky than the hacks we did before.
Works for me.
So hopefully we'll do it.
So how should I do it? What should I start changing?
Yeah, so first of all, we can remove everything but ID and parent from here. And internal. We need to have internal, but all the other fields we can remove so we don't copy data and we don't pollute our cache.
Okay. So we're straight up just saying this is basically an empty node. This is a kind of a placeholder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so now we need to convert the definition to use GraphQL builders, GraphQL type builders,
Okay. And
instead of
GraphQL
using
type builders comes out of the schema.
Yep.
Okay. And what's nice about this is an array. So I can make this an array and we'll
So we
just,
can add this stuff on the bottom. We can just copy the only one thing that's this type blog post markdown.
okay. So I want to do schema. What's the,
Build object type,
okay.
and then it has. We can copy this SDL and then convert it to objects. I think it's
It's this one, right?
relatively easy. Yeah.
Okay.
So we need to. This is a name.
Name.
Yeah. Then node and blog post. We can put them at the interfaces.
And that's an array, right?
Yeah. Array of strings.
Okay. So I can make this one into a string, move it in. Oh, that was cool. Very helpful VS Code. And then this one, same thing. We'll make it a string. And I'm going to move that into the array. So we're just saying implement both of these.
Yeah, the directives are extensions. So do extensions.
Oh, extensions. I was like, where do I? Okay, yeah. Extensions.
And then it will be an object, and then it will basically be a child of, and then type. Yeah, it maps pretty directly.
Awesome.
Totally directly, except infer, don't infer. They're like the special one.
Okay. And then here, this is fields, right?
Fields, yeah, fields.
Okay. And for these, it's not. This isn't just straight up like that, right? Or does that work?
No, this will work. This will work.
Yes.
But yeah, for those we would have to, because we need resolvers there, we'll have to make it a bit
right.
more complicated.
So this gets us around the syntax error so that we can start refactoring these. So at this point, we've basically done what we did in just plain text. But the reason this is important is that we can extend it now and do some custom stuff with the resolvers. So if I want to do that.
So we need to make an object instead of just a string. So it will be an object with type string.
Okay.
And then we'll do resolvers later. Let's first convert all those things there.
Okay, so these are both going to be...
Yeah, but the date format directive will also be extensions.
Okay, so let me get this out of there. And then this one is going to have extensions. And for date format, it's just an empty object, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Because there's no parameters.
Okay. So we now have, this is like actually functional equivalent ready to rock.
Yep. First, we'll do a simple thing. So for title and for date, what we can do is get them from the parent by just querying for this parent. So we'll do a resolve, and we'll get like source, args, info. All of those.
Do I need them all?
At least first three.
Okay.
And not info. The third one is context.
That's right.
Yeah. So then we'll get a parent, which will be context node model, get node by ID.
Get node by ID, and that would be source parent.
Source parent, yeah. And this would be an object. So it will object with field ID.
Got it.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And do I need to await that?
So, yeah. We don't actually know.
Oh, it's fine.
Actually, don't. No, it's synchronous, but it shouldn't be in future. But let's keep the await. If you want to be forward, like future compatible, it should be await.
Okay, let's do that. So we'll go async await, and that gives us our parent. And then on this, we should just be able to return like parent.frontmatter.title.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the second way to do it. You directly access the parent, and then you you use the data. But then there's a third way to do it. Like there's a third and fourth, and I want to show it for all of you. So now let's see the title works. We can just test this. I think this will work already with these titles.
Okay. Do you want me to run this?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to stop and restart. And while we're waiting for that, Chris has a question. Does this apply if you want to use MDX instead of Markdown? Absolutely. This is the power of it, is like any type can be extended or modified or whatever. You just have to go into the GraphQL Explorer to figure out what the individual types are, and then you can start messing with them as much as you want. So now, if I rerun this, it doesn't like body, but that's okay because we haven't set that up yet. But we are getting the data. So
okay, so now the next stage, let's do the body, and let's do it manually, and then we'll do custom extension for date. Custom. So for body, let's go to body. Okay. So the new thing that we've added is this so-called materialization layer, which basically does the magic.
Okay.
Does the magic of getting of resolving the fields for you, and we use it so you can query, for example, things that are only available to resolvers. But in future, now we can already use it, but it's a bit hacky. But in future, it will be like a first-class thing that you can do to resolve the fields before you query for them. So. Okay, so
I just want to take a minute and just bask in the glory of that statement because it's just going to be so nice. Okay, I'm ready now. Okay, so I have in the body, I have a resolver set up, and I'm ready to do whatever I need to do.
So there's a prepare nodes in node model. So prepare nodes, yes. So do this context node model prepare nodes, and it accepts an object. No, it's got 4 arguments, not an object. A type, which we can get from info return type. We need to have an info there.
Okay, and so I get info.
I think parent type, not return type. I need to check it. Just a second. Source type definitions. GraphQL resolve info, and it's parent type.
Parent type.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think. No, I'm not sure. Well, let's see if it works. So it's parent type. Then is it even? Yeah, it is. And then we need query fields, which is it's going to be an object, and in this object we'll have parent, then a new object, and then HTML, and then this should equal true.
Okay.
Then we do this. Then we copy this once again. This should repeat twice. Don't ask.
Like this?
No, I mean not the whole thing, but like the last argument. The parent HTML true should repeat twice.
So like as in like this?
Yeah.
Okay, you told me not to ask, but I feel like I gotta ask.
And I think, why are we using this node types? Oh yeah, we do. Yeah, it's a bit hacky because it's internal API. But basically, what prepare node does is it accepts the type that you want to resolve. Then it also has the first the field that user is currently querying, and then the field that we need to resolve for this query to succeed. And because here we need tools, it kind of works this way. Yeah. So we also need a third argument, a fourth argument, which would be a list, which will put info parent type dot name. But this is a very annoying API. Now I realize.
Like this?
Yeah, and we need to await for this. We need to await for this whole statement.
await.
Yeah, and then we need to do async. And then the last thing we need to do is we need to query for the current object once again after this happens. So do
Okay, so-
const new source.
And so I'm not. I don't need the result of this. I just need this to happen.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Yeah. In
And so-
future, it would be the gives you result, but for now, it's kind of internal and hacky. So what we do here, we tell Gatsby to resolve those fields,
Okay.
and they will be available. But now we need to retrieve the thing from the database table for it to be available for us.
Okay. And so what I'm just to kind of walk through this and make sure that I understand what's happening. This is an internal API that is what Gatsby is using to actually resolve, like when you get the HTML that gets transformed from Markdown.
Yeah.
What we're doing is we're saying for the parent type, which is resolving to Markdown remark, we are.
No, I think parent type is going to be not markdown remark, but blog post, remark blog post. Well, blog post remark, whatever is the name of this. Yeah.
Okay. Well, aren't we? This is
Yeah, we're
blog post
blog post,
markdown. So
Markdown,
wouldn't our
yeah.
parent type be Markdown remark?
No, it's a parent type for this field.
Oh, for the field. Okay, so we're going for blog post Markdown, and we're
think so.
querying for the HTML field.
Yeah.
We need to resolve this field,
Yeah.
and the types to use.
Don't ask.
Is that about right?
Yeah, it's about right. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
so basically, what I expect will be the relatively near future, this will be abstracted away into a helper, so that like we won't need to do this day to day.
Exactly.
Okay.
But for now it's better show. So let's do like const new source, and it will be context info get by ID source ID.
Wait.
Condensed not model. Context not model. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, hold on. Get by ID, and that's just source ID.
Get node by ID.
Get node.
Get node by ID, and we need to wrap it into an object.
That's right.
Yep. So yeah, this doesn't need to be async. And now we can return new source dot underscore Gatsby, and it won't be SEC. It will be underscore Gatsby underscore resolved.
Underscore Gatsby resolved.
Underscore resolved dot parent dot HTML.
Okay. I mostly understand what just happened, but also.
Well, let's see if it works.
Oh, what's up,
Let's see if
Raid?
it
Thanks, CM Griffing for coming over. Happy to see everybody. We are deep in the internal APIs of Gatsby, seeing if we can customize how GraphQL works. So, drum roll, please. We will see if this actually functions. Ooh, that'd be a good sound effect. I definitely need a drum roll. I believe in this. I believe in us. Okay.
I never tried this before, so this is like the first time. But both of us are trying this.
Okay, so
It's body.
Oh, body, right. Cannot read parent of undefined.
No. Is it actually Gatsby resolved? Yeah, it is Gatsby resolved. Oh, it's double underscore Gatsby resolved.
Double underscore Gatsby resolved.
Let's see if it works. It needs to restart. You need to restart the server.
Ah, right. Doing that. Okay. Who headaches are free here. I mean, stick with us. It's gonna get better. Okay, so it still doesn't.
Ah, shit. Okay, let's console log this. Let's console log the thing we just queried.
Okay, we are console logging.
Console log info parent type.
Son of a biscuit.
New source, and then also info parent type. Because now I feel that maybe we just not using the correct one. Maybe it's return type. I remember lots of things in GraphQL by heart, but not this one.
Okay, so this is, I mean, in case you're wondering how the most senior engineers solve their problems, it's still console logs. Okay, so we've got this running. I'm going to run here, and our log is going to show up here. So our parent type is blog post markdown, and our new node doesn't seem to have the Gatsby resolved or the HTML. Are you sure we don't need to go up to the markdown field for HTML?
Oh, actually probably doesn't work because GraphQL doesn't have this built in.
Oh,
Fuck.
do I need
Yeah,
to, should I just do
yeah,
a quick page for it?
we need the page.
Okay.
The page, yeah.
All right, no worries. We can do that fast. So I'll go into this index and I'm going to take our query and we'll just import GraphQL from Gatsby. And then we will export a query. Okay.
This might work now. So let's like write the title and the body inside the page.
Okay, so that's going to give me my data. And to avoid having to write a loop for this, I'm just going to just dump it straight out. We'll dump out data and we'll make it look kind of nice. And let's just go check that. It works.
It works.
So that is exactly what we wanted. So and then the cool thing about this is like if we did want to do like a loop, you can imagine how nice this feels as a front end developer, right? So I'm basically data all blog posts .nodes.map, and then I have a post, and now I'm able to just do like div. Let's add the ID as well so that I have a key. I can do a key of post.id. I can add a title. Let's do an H2 since there's going to be a list of post title. And then I can do a div with dangerously set inner HTML. HTML will be post.body, right? So now we don't have to know what the internals look like. We can just make these lists of posts. And we know that like our blog post is title and body. So really quickly, while we're on this subject, before we go deeper, what I'd love to do is let's set up another blog source. So maybe from like a JSON file or a YAML file.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that, yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go into content. I'm going to create a let's give it a we'll make it YAML. And this one is going to have how do you do? I guess we would just set it up like this, right? Or no, we can just set it up like this. I'm going to set it up as an array. My naming is bad now, but we're just going to go YAML1. The date will be, we'll say this one happened a little while ago, so it'll be in like August sometime. And the body would be, okay. So then I can do another one of those. And if I fix that, and I'm going to get rid of the date on this one too, so that we can show that things are working. So now we should be able to set up another schema customization in our Gatsby node. And do we need to do it through the build object type, or with YAML we can just do a straight pass through, right?
I think you can just do straight pass through, yes.
Okay. And so with this one, we will do type. Ooh, actually, before I run that, let me figure out what the YAML type is. I forget. Unexpected digit after 0, 3. What did I do?
Um,
Where is this failure? Okay, object type composer. Did I screw something up?
maybe you need to put YAML can start with numbers. Oh, YAML name can start with numbers.
Oh,
Yeah, this is.
oh, Chris Biscardi with the save. YAML files cannot start with numbers because then it would get used as the type, and GraphQL types can't start with numbers. So I'm going to go back in here, and now we should have a YAML. So all YAML blog YAML. That's good. I like that. Okay, and the type on that is also YAML blog YAML. So good, very good. So we are going to do YAML blog YAML.
YAML.
Yeah, it's like that Badger song. YAML 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 YAML.
JSON.
Okay, so I can do this. This is going to implement, if I can spell it, implements node and blog post, right? Or do I need the intermediate type on this one?
No, this is fine.
Okay. So,
If it matches so easily, you don't need to have intermediate type.
and I'm going to don't infer on this one because we don't want to pick up
that's
those
fine.
types. And so is it going to auto-generate an ID or do I need to supply one?
You need to supply one because it implements this blog post that has ID. So like GraphQL wants it to have it.
Okay.
So well, you don't have to supply it. No, I misunderstood you. I think
Oh,
it'll work.
it'll do it for us. Okay.
Yeah.
So
then
then
you're
I'm
talking about the types.
date and body is going to be a string, and I believe
That should work.
it should hopefully just work. Doesn't like something.
No.
Cannot read property parent of undefined.
What?
Not the llama. No, not the llama. Not the llama one. Okay. Type name doc, advanced Gatsby index.js. What don't you like? Cannot read property.
Yeah, but we don't use the parent there. We only use it in the blog post. It should work.
Maybe if I take that off.
No.
That should make.
Yeah. Remove it. Yeah. You can't have don't infer because there's no parent. Then you need to have child of file. Yeah.
Oh,
This was right. If you want don't infer, you also need to have no.
Okay, so it just doesn't like this parent resolver. So let's see. On the blog post markdown, it shouldn't try.
Are you sure it's not happening somewhere there? There's parent. No, there's no parent here.
I mean, there's we've got this. So the only time that we access parent is here, which is in the blog post markdown, and then we access it again.
Can you console log there? Let's console log in there.
Okay.
You get node and source ID. What?
You get node on source ID.
No, it's actually meant to be. Well, actually, yeah, it can actually be that too. Chris is right. Not here. It's like in the body, but it shouldn't affect it because it was used to working. It used to be working fine before we added YAML.
Yeah.
No, this is fine. This should work like that.
Okay, and when it does fail, it fails right here. and the node that it's getting.
But it should work. It was just working. Why would it stop working right after it was working?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should do Gatsby clean here.
Why would it say paper jam when there is no paper jam? Let's see.
Still,
Now it doesn't like the body. Okay. So I wonder, it's still getting all the blog post markdown. Does that twice. And then it dumps. Let's see. Cannot read property parent of undefined on the body. What are you doing, computer? Why? Why are you like this? And it does that because...
I have no idea, to be honest. Can you remove temporarily a YAML block YAML and see if it just magically works? I don't think this is how. Yeah, that's. It was working.
Let's see. So it doesn't like that.
Oh, now it's broken again. It used to be working.
Let me do a clean and restart. Huh. So it gave up on us. Something that was working is no longer working, which is fascinating. So we must have been caught in some kind of weird state where that worked. But that means that at some point we did have a thing that worked. And I don't know how.
And the parent type and new source are still all fine, aren't they?
And this Gatsby resolved is...
Could you check the new source again? It should have this, but it doesn't seem to have it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's showing up. And so I wonder if is it this parent, do you think? The parent here? Let's just try logging that.
Yeah, it is probably that.
Okay. So I'm just going to kill this. Try again. Child parent link. The child parent link shouldn't be. So it's just undefined. Like it's just not coming back at all.
It didn't resolve.
Okay. So did I miss a step here with the setup here?
I know. I know why it doesn't work, because this get node by ID in this case won't return this underscore Gatsby result. It only happens actually in run query. So we need to do run query. Contains the node model run query.
Query, and then
and then this should be filter ID source ID filter ID and then equal source ID.
Source ID, and I want to get first only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see if this works. Why did it work for a second?
That was very magical that worked.
So do we have a result?
Cannot read property filter, so I screwed something up. Context node model run query.
It's query filter. It's you need to do it like double. It should be a
Hold on, I gotta look this up real quick because I'm here. Run query. Thank you for that. Query and then filter.
And we also need the type.
And you need the type. And the type would be...
info parent type. Yeah, this should work.
Okay, here we go.
Drum roll.
And things are happening.
Ooh, yeah, it
Yeah,
works now.
yeah. Okay, cool. So then,
Now let's back the YAML,
and hopefully
and we'll
I
just work.
didn't. Shit. So
Just copy the blog post and rename it. Copy interface blog post and rename it.
smart. Okay, so I can delete that, and we'll do interface
Son of a biscuit.
type YAML blog YAML implements
Yep.
node and blog post.
I think that's all. You need to remove that interface. Change it to don't infer, so we can see if it works.
Okay, so that should work. Things are happening. It's not exploding.
Yeah. Let's see.
Show me potato salad. Look at that. Okay, so this is super exciting because what just happened here
buckets, did that just
is we wrote a single query. That single query that we wrote is for blog posts, but we are now pulling in data from two sources.
All right, so that's exciting.
So we're getting these two markdown blog posts and we're getting YAML. And so like this example is pretty contrived, but imagine how powerful this would be if you had, let's say, you're working on a big team. You've got a marketing team, you've got a docs team, you've got your development team, and you're all publishing to the same blog. Your developers want to use a GitHub workflow. You post your markdown into a GitHub PR, you review there, you get feedback. That is a great workflow for developers and docs blogging. But for the content team's going to want to use WordPress or Contentful or some kind of like actual CMS with a WYSIWYG interface for editing and all that. And they're not going to want to be in GitHub. They might not even have GitHub accounts. Using this approach, you could let them, like the dev team writes in GitHub and the content team writes in whatever CMS, and you write these interfaces, and then you just query for blog posts, and it just works. Like this is an extremely powerful model, and the doors that this opens for teams are like unbelievable. It really, like, I really feel like this is a big deal. Another thing that's really powerful about this is if you think about this from a theming standpoint, it also means that you would be able to write a theme that takes a generic type, and then somebody could swap out their data source for like almost no effort. You change out your adapter or you write a new adapter, and your theme can support any data source with no changes. This Chris is making tall jokes, which is, I mean, come on, y'all. There's a really good picture of the three of us together where I think I come up to like Chris's armpit. It's I don't feel like I'm a short person until I hang out with you. All right, so I feel like we've done this one particular thing is huge. I feel like there's so much more that is also possible now. Is there anything else that you want to dig into here?
I think we don't have time to actually implement the custom directive, which would be kind of a hack to automatically do this prepare nodes. That's the thing we could do in theory, and then we would have to instead of implementing these resolvers by hand, we could use directive. So yeah, let's do it. We can do it quickly.
Yeah, let's do it.
So there's an action that is let me check. There's an action to create custom resolvers.
Okay.
Create.
Isn't it just like create resolvers?
No, it's like create extensions.
Oh, this is fancy pants.
Oh yeah, it's create field extension.
And is that like an API, or is it?
Yeah,
it's an action.
It's an action.
Okay.
It's an action in. We can use in schema extension. So above this, let's do it. Above this create types, let's do actions create field extension.
Create field extension.
Yep. And let me check the API. I haven't actually done it myself. So there's a name. So let's call it. So let's call name, and this would be something like proxy from resolve. Bear with me.
Okay.
Or like proxy resolve. Let's call it proxy resolve. And then what it needs is extend that takes options and previous field config. So it's like a function. Extend is a function.
Oh, I got you. Options and previous field config.
Yep.
Okay.
And we need to return out of it an object. It will have resolve. And then let's copy the code we had in there in the previous thing. Not this one.
No, not that one.
Like
Not that one. This one.
This one, yeah.
Okay. Okay, and I'm going to cut out, now that we know this works, I'm going to get rid of that console logging.
Yeah. So this is fine. So I guess we need to accept some options. Yeah, we need to accept the, in options, we will have the, it will be a string. Yes, how do we define what options you can accept? Oh yeah, it's args. We need another one above extend args. And it will have path, like from, let's call it from.
Okay.
And it will be a string. So it's a type. It's an object again.
Oh, okay.
It's an object type string.
And is that required?
And I don't see how it required. Let me check. Create field extension here. GraphQL extension definition. Oh yeah, it will be a string. Yeah, required string, so it will work like this. Yeah, no,
Okay.
This is fine. This is correct. Okay, so we need to convert this string, which will be a dotted string, into this kind of parent HTML through object. So
Okay.
so yeah, so we need to split the string. Let's have a function. Let's make a utility function for that.
Okay. So split proxy string. Whatever.
Yeah.
And so we're going to do string dot split dot on a period. And then we
reduce and
okay, I can do this.
accumulator.
I can do this.
Accumulator next.
Yep, accumulator and then chunk. And do we need the index? No.
No. Then we'll have accumulator chunk. No, this won't work.
This wouldn't work. Why wouldn't this work? Because we want the so we will get the okay. So let's walk through this. So if we have an option of parent.html, right?
Is there a reduce write in JavaScript?
A reduce
Oh
write?
yeah, there is. Yeah, we need to do it from other side. We need to start from HTML, then it will work.
Okay. So I'm gonna do this the way that I write all of my utility functions, which is to do it here. We'll just take all of this.
Yep.
And we'll call it a var so that I can redeclare it a bunch of times. And split option string. And we're gonna
so we need to do accumulator chunk. I've got a chunk equals object. Equals object. I think no. It should be empty object that has accumulator as a chunk dot. It's other way around. So return an object. And then there would be a chunk would be the key, and the accumulator would be the value. So I need to have it chunk wrapped into the square brackets.
chunk wrapped into
wrapped
square
in square
brackets.
brackets. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
this, and
so,
then the first value should be true. Yeah, let's see
oh,
if it works.
oh, wow. We've done, okay. So I'm going to split an option string and it's going to be parent.html. And that gives us parent HTML true.
Ooh,
We are
that
hackers.
worked. Unbelievable.
Okay, so here we go. Take that back in. Save that. And
Okay.
okay,
Yeah, now we
now
can use it inside there. It's going to be so instead of parent HTML true, we'll have we'll use this on the options. So on options from.
split proxy string and options dot from.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we also need something that gets stuff by this dotted string. I think we can import Lodash.
We need Lodash for what now?
To do this get pass or something like that. Lodash get
Okay.
like so we can get this from the parent.
Okay.
I think it actually even accepts the string, so it's gonna just work.
Import get from Lodash get. And then you wanted to do, I'm getting it
It's gonna be at the bottom.
bottom.
This is correct. Yeah, here, like get, yeah, from here.
Get, and it's, so it'll be new source resolved and then options dot from.
Yeah. All right. Now let's try applying this to our date format.
Okay. Is this
So we have date. So it's a
This-
proxy resolve. Get
Some-
the proxy resolve, and now let's try applying this to HTML.
try?
So
Hold on. I broke something. Something's not right. So I've got this here, this here. What doesn't it like? What am I? I'm like my.
maybe on top, maybe we've maybe the function is broken. The function we wrote up there. No, that's correct.
Is this? Yeah, I have a. Okay,
No.
so I've got something missing. Proxy resolve, args, and then we extend. And that returns an object.
Yeah, it is going to be a built-in something like that. I'm answering to Chris.
So I'm missing something.
Is it still missing?
That was it. I was missing a curly brace.
Okay.
Okay. So now,
So instead of all the resolve code we had in body, we can try using this proxy resolve.
okay, and I'm going to do the proxy resolve by applying an extension.
Yeah. So like there's some issues. We don't want people to actually know which stuff has to be resolved and which stuff don't. That's why we don't have it built in yet. We're still thinking of how exactly to solve it in a way that's most ergonomic, but something like this will be available.
Okay, and so I'm doing proxy resolve
And from, yeah.
from parent.html.
Let's see if it works.
Okay, here we go. No. Unexpected identifier. Because we're in Node. So we're going to const get equals require Lodash get. I have a whole list of amazing sound effects that I need to go clean up. I've been saving them as clips on my channel, so I think there's like 5 or 6 now. After today, probably like 7 or 8. Okay, so that actually compiled, which means it works. That is super cool. And so now, do we still need to do the build object type, or could we just write this as
No, we
like?
don't.
Okay.
Yeah, we can.
So I want to do that, and then I think we can probably call this done. So this is going to implement node and blog post. It's don't infer, or it is infer.
We can do don't infer. Let's do don't infer.
Don't infer.
No need to infer what's inferred.
Okay, and then we are going. Oh, we need the child of.
Yep.
And that type markdown remark. Okay, then we're gonna get ID is ID. Title is, we had something in here that we wanted to get. Does that proxy field work? The one that would just get the parent?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and so for that, then I would do, it's a string, and I'm gonna proxy from parent front matter dot title.
Parent front matter. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't tried it, but let's see. Like this all was theoretical in my head, so I'm impressed that it works.
Okay, date format, and then body.
And then proxy. You can add proxy to date too.
And this should be proxy resolve.
It's proxy resolve. Yeah, we can use actually proxy resolve there too, but yeah, let's use proxy. It will work. It will work. The date format we also need to do proxy.
Oh, right. Proxy from parent front matter date.
Yeah, let's see if it works.
Okay, and so then I'm going to just take this one out. Okay, so I believe. Nope, didn't like it. Cannot return null for non-nullable field markdown blog post markdown title.
You need proxy resolve there too, because parent is actually parent itself needs resolving. So try doing proxy resolve in all.
Got it. Okay. Here we go. No immediate explosions. That's a good sign.
Let's see.
Show me. Oh man. Okay. So just check out how powerful this is, right? So we have gone from this big gnarly object builder to being able to just say, I want these fields. And then we write this and this will go away. So this kind of gnarly prepare node thing will get easier. But damn, man, that is slick. And the fact that we can now just kind of use it however we want to get parent fields is that is some pretty powerful stuff. So, and like we could translate this over to work with MDX, and would we have to rewrite the proxy resolve helper to support that, or would we be able to? So I could just do like parent.body and it would bring me MDX's.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This is the power of these field resolvers. They're absolutely universal, so it will all work. I mean, it will fail in some ways, but this works.
Sure, but I mean, like for what I would consider to be my happy path, this is a huge step forward from what we were doing before, because I think Chris was showing me his workaround for doing MDX resolver pass-throughs, and there was a whole lot of code required to do this work. So seeing this get baked into Gatsby makes life much, much easier. And with that being said, I think this is a pretty good stopping point here. We'll call it here. Where should people go to find you online? Or I guess what would you like people to do now that they have watched this video?
Yeah, try it in your themes. Though I think there's a problem with themes.
Did that just work?
Yeah, but I mean, try it in your project and see what works and what doesn't work. I mean, schema customization now I think supports all the features, even obscure stuff inside Gatsby. So you should be able to like 100% use it to define everything. And there are some kind of things we need to discuss of how it should work inside the themes. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Is there a place to follow that discussion? Should people just get at you on Twitter? Also, everybody go follow him on Twitter. He Mikhail is a very interesting person to follow on Twitter for lots of reasons. But like, if you want a direct line into what's going on in GraphQL, that's a It's a good feed to have. So is there like an official issue or something that people should follow if they want to keep up on that development?
Not really. I mean, there used to be plans about GraphQL issue, but then I've like looked at it yesterday and it's 100% out of date. So I don't know. We need to have a new one. I think I'll create it when I have time.
Okay, cool.
But,
So if you're interested, then follow Mikhail on Twitter and bother him until he creates that issue.
Sounds good.
All right, y'all. I think we are going to call it there. So, definitely check out the schedule. We've got some really fun stuff coming up here. On Monday, we are going to have Sarah Drasner on the show. We're going to do some 3JS. It's going to be incredible. Then on Thursday, we've got Zach Gordon coming on. And I believe there's even more happening that I'm not remembering. So I'm going to look at my calendar real quick because I swear there was somebody else coming on the show that I didn't talk about. So
yeah, and we can do it again when we get all this stuff ready. We can do the follow-up episode with even more advanced GraphQL stuff.
I would love to. Yeah, absolutely. On Monday, Sarah Drasner's coming on. On Tuesday, Marissa Morby is coming on. We're going to do the UX prototyping and workflows for a project called Secret Sandwich. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. It's a completely ridiculous idea that I hope everybody does at home. On Wednesday, we've got Leo Lamprecht from Zeit coming on to talk about Now and all the different deployment options there. And then on Thursday, we've got Zach Gordon to come on and do WordPress and JavaScript. So it's going to be a really, really exciting week next week. Definitely tune in, mark your calendars. I will update this schedule as soon as I can, hopefully today. And with that being said, stay tuned. We're going to raid. Mikhail, thank you so much for coming on. All right. See you later.
Thank you so much, too. See you.